So today I am going to discuss with you all about the bulk transport by the plasma membrane, like your exocytosis, endocytosis, phagocytosis, receptor mediated endocytosis, and so on. Different types of modes of transport that normally occurs throughout the cell. So let's get started now. I'm not here sharing the lecture notes here. I will share you in the WhatsApp group. Just in the whiteboard, I will try to discuss and write as possible as I will try to explain with you. And if you have any doubts regarding the lecture, lastly, then you can share. You can ask me in the WhatsApp group. Okay. So let's get started now. So, about the bulk transport of by the plasma membrane. So, normally cell routinely import and export large amount of molecules across the plasma membrane, and these macromolecules are secreted out from the cell by exocytosis. So, exocytosis is a process where the macromolecules, the large molecules, are released out, are secreted out from the cell. And through the process of phagocytosis and endocytosis, the macromolecules are ingested into the cell. The exocytosis is the process where the macromolecules are secreted out from the cell. Macromolecules are secreted out from the cell. Okay. And through the process of phagocytosis and phagocytosis and endocytosis, the macromolecules are ingested to the cells. Macromolecules are ingested ingested into the cell. Right? So we will explain this process one by one. Let us first discuss about this process of exocytosis. So exocytosis, also called as amniocytosis or cell vomiting. So this exocytosis, also known as amniocytosis or cell vomiting. Now, in all eukaryotic cells, there are some vesicles called as secretory vesicles. So there are some vesicles called secretory vesicles. Now these secretory vesicles continually carrying continually carrying a new plasma membrane and cellular secretions like proteins, like lipids and carbohydrates, for example cellulose, from the Golgi apparatus to the plasma membrane or to the cell exterior, that means to the outside the cell, from inside to outside, by the process of exocytosis. So again I repeat, so with the help of these secretory vesicles, in all eukaryotic cells, these secretory vesicles continually carrying new plasma membrane and other cellular secretions. So the new plasma membrane secretions or other cellular secretions like proteins, lipids, carbohydrates like cellulose, from the Golgi apparatus, it is being transported to the plasma membrane or to outside the cell by the process of exocytosis. Now the proteins that are to be secreted, they has to be synthesized somewhere, because protein synthesis has to be done, and that can be done through the process of translation process, where specific regions of DNA known as the genes specific regions of the DNA known as the genes are transcribed to form mRNA, and that mRNA will be translated to give you that protein product, right? Now, these proteins that are being formed, these proteins has to be synthesized within the rough endoplasmic reticulum, also called as RER. We will see in the later section about the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So, within the rough endoplasmic reticulum, the proteins are being formed, and then from the rough endoplasmic reticulum, the proteins are passed on to the interior of the endoplasmic reticulum, known as the lumen. So, the proteins first synthesize on the ribosomes, because ribosomes are the sites of protein synthesis. Then that proteins enter to the endoplasmic reticulum and enters, actually it is entering to the lumen. Lumen is the interior, it is the interior of the endoplasmic reticulum, interior of endoplasmic reticulum. There, some modifications of that protein occurs, like attachment of carbohydrate groups to that protein surface, known as glycosylation. Okay, and after modifications, then they are transported, that proteins are transported to the Golgi apparatus by the help of vesicles, by the help of transport vesicles derived from the endoplasmic reticulum. So, in this way, exocytosis occur. First, what happened? The proteins which are to be secreted, the proteins which are, sorry for that, the proteins which are to be secreted, they are first, what happened? These proteins are first synthesized on on the ribosomes. They are first synthesized on the ribosomes, on the ribosomes, sorry, ribosomes. Now these ribosomes are attached with the membranes of the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So these ribosomes are found on the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Now, after synthesis of that proteins which are to be secreted out from the cell, then these proteins are then transported. They are then transported to the lumen of the endoplasmic reticulum. They are then transported to the lumen. Lumen means the interior. Okay, it is the interior of the endoplasmic reticulum, which is a hollow space. And then inside the lumen of the endoplasmic reticulum, there are certain modifications of this protein occurs, like glycosylation. That means attachment of carbohydrates, certain carbohydrates to certain regions of that proteins. So certain modifications of the protein occur, and then they are transported to the, these proteins are transported to the Golgi apparatus. They are then transported to the Golgi apparatus. Okay, now obviously they has to be packaged in small vesicles, and that vesicles are provided by the endoplasmic reticulum. That type of vesicles are called as transport vesicles. Transport vesicles. Transport vesicles. So with the help of transport vesicles, the endoplasmic the proteins which are to be secreted out, they enter to the Golgi apparatus. Now within the Golgi apparatus, further the proteins are modified. Further the proteins are modified, they are sorted and finally packaged into vesicles, and from that vesicles they will pinch off from the Golgi tubules and migrate to the plasma membrane. So further, when when they enter to the Golgi apparatus, what happened? After entering to the Golgi apparatus? These proteins are further modified. They are concentrated. Further, they are modified, like attachment of carbohydrate moieties into the specific regions of the proteins, And finally, these proteins are packaged into vesicles. That vesicles that contains your secretory proteins has to be pinched off from the Golgi tubules, and then they will migrate to the plasma membrane, where that that vesicles will fuse and release the secretion to the exterior of the cell. So in this way, exocytosis occurs. Okay, so I think I have tried to understand, I have tried to understand this part of exocytosis, that during the process of exocytosis, what happened? During the process of exocytosis, the proteins which are to be secreted out from the cell, that proteins are first synthesized on the ribosomes located on the rough endoplasmic reticulum, and then the proteins enter to the interior of the endoplasmic reticulum known as lumen, and then they are inside the lumen. The proteins are glycosylated. They are then glycosylated means attachment of carbohydrate molecules to certain regions of the protein to modify the protein structure, and then they are transported to the Golgi apparatus with the help of transport vesicles provided by the endoplasmic reticulum. Then finally, within the Golgi apparatus, they are again modified, again they are concentrated, they are sorted, glycosylation is also done, and finally they are packaged into vesicles. Now they will pinch off that vesicles that contain our proteins, the secretory proteins which are to be secreted out from the cell. That vesicles will pinch off from your Golgi tubules and will migrate to the plasma membrane, and there it will fuse and release the secretion to the cell's exterior. Okay, I think I have said enough of this lecture. I have repeatedly I have said this lecture. Now, if you compare with small molecules, if we compare with small molecules, uh, if the how the small molecules are secreted out from the cell, like histamine, like your histamine. So, in case of small molecules which are to be secreted out from the cell, like histamine, which secreted from special type of cell called mast cell. Histamine is a small molecule which is secreted from a special type of cell called mast cell. These small molecules actively transported from the cytoplasm, where they are synthesized on free ribosomes. What does it mean? In case of small molecules, they don't need to be packaged in vesicles. Directly, these proteins are synthesized by the ribosomes found in the cytoplasm, and then they are moved out from the cell. No need for the formation of transport vesicles here. But in case of macromolecules, we need secretory vesicles. That's why processing of that molecules are needed. They first synthesize in the ribosomes, then they enter to the endoplasmic reticulum lumen, where it is modified. They are glycosylated. Further, they are entered to the Golgi apparatus with the help of transport vesicles. They are within the Golgi apparatus. Again, they are modified. Again, they are packaged into vesicles. They are then transported into the plasma membrane, where they pinch out from the cell. But in case of small molecules like histamine, they don't need any secretory vesicles to be fused with. So directly the small molecules are actively transported. Small molecules actively they actively transport they actively transport from the cytosol, from the cytosol. Okay, where these small molecules are synthesized by the ribosomes found on the cytoplasm, right? Okay, so this was about the exocytosis. I will give you the notes of exocytosis just after this lecture. Let us now begin about the Phagocytosis. Well, you have seen phagocytosis. You have learned the mechanism of phagocytosis earlier in your junior classes, but still I will try to explain again here also in your BSc lecture. So sometimes what happen, large size. So we will do now phagocytosis. Okay. So what it is saying here, sometimes what happen, large size solid food or foreign particles are taken in by the cell through the plasma membrane. So sometimes what happen, large size solid food particles or foreign particles are taken by the cell through the plasma membrane. Now, the process of ingestion of large size solid substances like bacteria or parts of broken cell, which is taken in by the cell, is known as phagocytosis. The word phagocytosis come from the Greek letter called phagin, Phagein. Phagin means to eat. Cytosis comes from the word chitos. Chitos means cell. So here what happened, in case of large size solid food or foreign particles like bacteria or parts of broken cells, if they are taken in by the cell through the plasma membrane, this process is called phagocytosis. This process of phagocytosis occur in most protozoas and certain cells of multicellular organisms. So there are certain multicellular organisms where this phagocytosis process occur. Like the best site for phagocytosis is your leukocyte, a type of white blood cell. Remember, so leukocytes, okay, leukocytes are the best place where phagocytosis mostly occur. Obviously, you can find phagocytosis in the in your um, in your protozoas, right? Okay, then your macrophage is also a cell. It is of immune cell, the first line of defense. Okay, macrophage also carries out the phagocytosis process. Okay, now the cells of macrophagic system, that means macrophage can ingest your bacteria, protozoa, cell debris, even colloidal particles can be ingested by the process of phagocytosis. Other cells are also there which are which carries out this phagocytosis process, like for example, the cells histiocytes, histiocytes. Okay, histiocytes are actually it is a secondary phagocytic cell found on the connective tissue. These histiocytes found on the connective tissue. Okay, and these histiocytes are also called as secondary phagocytic cell. Secondary phagocytic cell. Okay, then other cells are there like reticular cells are also um, a good example of phagocytic where phagocytosis occur. Then the reticular cells of hematopoietic origin like bone marrow, lymph nodes, spleen. Okay, endothelial cells. Okay, they are the sites of phagocytosis. Now, what is the process of phagocytosis? If I say in phagocytosis, what happened? First, the target particle is bounded by specific receptor on the cell surface. So if this is the cell surface, there are some specific receptor found within the cell surface. This receptor, what they do, um, these receptors what they do, this receptor first uh, it, it allows the attachment of the target particles to the cell surface. Suppose your pink one is your target particles. Okay, it binds. The target particles have some receptor, have some ligands, okay, some attachment sites which help that receptor cells to bind. Okay, it allows attachment. So this is your target particle or the foreign particle, whatever we say. Why we say target particle? Because these particle will be allowed for phagocytosis to occur. Okay, and these are the receptors. Okay, next, now this process is also called as adsorption. Adsorption, ADSORPTION. Now what happened after attachment of the target particles? Now the plasma membrane will expand along the surface of the particle and eventually engulf it. So again I repeat. So what happened in the next step? What happened in the next step is the plasma membrane expand along the surface of the particle. So it will be look like this. So it is expanding along the length of the particle and it is engulfing that it is engulfing that particle. So these are the receptors. Okay, takes some time, but you have to understand this phenomenon. And this is our, I have gone through a small, now it is becoming small size, but you have to maintain that size whatsoever. So here the target particle is engulfed by the cell now. Okay, so with the help of adsorption in the first step, in the second step, what happened? The plasma membrane expands, it expands here and along the surface of the particle and engulf it. Now in the third step, what happened? Vesicle is formed by the phagocytosis and that is known as phagosome. So in the third step, what happened? If this is your plasma membrane and these are the receptors of your plasma membrane, I am now drawing small receptors now. Okay, so now what happened? These foreign particle or the target particle that we called, it is now encoded with a vesicle. Okay, with a membrane bound vesicle. So a vesicle occurs around it. Okay, a vesicle occur around it, and this is known as phagosome. Phago. So now it is moving to the interior of the cell where it will interact with the lysosome. Okay. Now the length of the phagosome, the size of the phagosome is about 1 to 2 micrometer, very small in size. The diameter of the phagosome is of 1 to 2 micrometer. Now the phagosome is migrating to the interior of the cell where it fuse with the pre-existing lysosome. So there is your lysosome. There is your lysosome. I am marking the lysosome with say green. Okay. So it fuse with the lysosome. There is a lysosome. Well, you know what happens in lysosome. Lysosome contain various enzymes. Various digestive enzymes are there which will try to break the components found inside the foreign particle, right? So the phagosome now migrate to the interior of the cell. So the phagosome now migrate to the interior of the cell and fuse with the lysosome and form phagolysosome. So this will be your fourth step. I am not erasing all of them. Okay, I am not erasing all of them. So it is now fused with the, so it is now fusing with the lysosome to form phagolysosome. Okay, wait for a minute. Okay, I have to give this blue color. Okay, So it fuse with the lysosome to form phagolysosome. Okay. Now within the phagolysosome, again I have to erase. So within the phagolysosome, there are various digestive enzymes which will try to what? Which will try to degrade these foreign particles. Okay, it will try to degrade these foreign particles. So this is your phagolysosome. So the food is now digested. This is the foreign particle which is getting degraded by the enzymes found inside the lysosome, because inside the lysosome it is acidic. There are various hydrolytic enzymes. So within the phagosomes there are various hydrolytic enzymes. Hydrolytic enzymes are there. Okay. And the digested food is ultimately diffused to the surrounding cytoplasm. So what happened in the next step? After complete digestion, the digested food, after complete digestion, your digested food is diffused. That means it is spreaded from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration to the surrounding cytoplasm. So this what happened in the next step. This what happened in the next step. So these are the remnants, the remaining portion of the foreign particle. Okay, the remaining portion of the foreign particle. Now what happened? The digested food is now diffused out throughout the cell. So this the digested food which is getting diffused out throughout the cell. Okay, it is diffusing out throughout the cell. Okay, and this is your phagolysosome. This is your phagolysosome. Okay, so it is getting diffused out, the digested food getting diffused out throughout the cell. Okay, okay, so it is getting diffused out throughout the cell. So this is your step 4. Okay, this is your step 4. Okay, now in addition, so it is getting ultimately diffused to the cytoplasm. Now in addition to the normal set of lysosomal hydrolase, macrophage lysosome contain enzymes that generate hydrogen peroxide, that is H2O2, and other toxic chemicals that aid in killing of the bacteria. So I have said only the acid hydrolase that does the hydrolysis of the food particles. But if the foreign particle is a bacteria, then what will happen? So if the foreign particle is your bacteria, then it need not to be worried, because in macrophage, which are the part of immune system, which are the cells of immune system, in macrophage they produce certain other enzymes as well. In macrophage they produce these two enzymes, these two enzymes. uh, the name of the enzymes has not been mentioned, but they have said the enzymes produce this toxic chemical called hydrogen peroxide. This hydrogen peroxide and other toxic chemicals will kill away the bacteria. Okay, if your foreign particle is your bacteria, then ultimately the bacteria will be degraded quickly. Okay, okay, understood. So there are certain enzymes that secrete hydrogen peroxide, like your macrophage, which will eventually remove all the toxic matter present in the foreign particle. And the undigested food, which is your this undigested food will be expelled off from the plasma membrane. It will be moved out from the plasma membrane by the process of, well, you know, exocytosis. By the process of your ephagi or egestion, the undigested food will be expelled out from the cell. Okay, but all cells does not do this egestion. Like for example in macrophage, uh, if the foreign particle is your some toxic bacteria, The macrophage kills the cell, okay, and the remaining part of that killed cell will be introduced into the cell wall, so that they will be allowing the other immune cell to communicate and allows the other enzymes, other cells to come, cells of immune system to come and kill away the other bacteria as well. So I hope you have understood this part. Now there are two types of phagocytosis which are seen. One is called ultraphagocytosis. One is called ultraphagocytosis, and another is called chromopexy. 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 Okay. So, in what happens in ultraphagocytosis? Ultraphagocytosis is also called as colloidopexy. In ultraphagocytosis, this is the process in which the plasma membrane ingests smaller colloidal particles, which are a mixture of insoluble particles, is known as ultraphagocytosis. So in ultraphagocytosis, what they do, they normally ingest, in ultraphagocytosis the cell normally ingest what? Cell normally ingest small colloidal particles. They ingest cells ingest small colloidal particles. Okay. It ingests small colloidal particles which are the mixture of insoluble particles. Okay, what happened in chromopexy? In chromopexy, when the cell ingest colloidal chromogen particles, okay, phagocytically, then this process is called chromopexy. Okay, so what happened in chromopexy? Where what are the colloidal particles? I have already mentioned. Colloidal particles are the mixture of insoluble particles which are dispersed, which are dispersed. Okay, like starch. So if it is a process where the plasma membrane is ingesting small colloidal particles, okay, is known as colloidopexy. Example, leukocytes and macrophage, they perform this ultraphagocytosis. What happened in chromopexy? Chromopexy is the process when the cell is performing phagocytosis of colloidal chromogen particles, okay, having some color origin, that with the help of phagocytosis they are ingesting the colloidal chromogen particles, okay. That process is called chromopexy. So I hope you have understood this part of this phagocytosis process. This will normally comes in exams with the help of suitable examples. Okay. In the next lecture, I will try to discuss about your the pinocytosis, then your the micropinocytosis, and the different other forms of bulk membrane transport across the plasma membrane. So up to this much, I think you have understood this lecture. Okay. So in the next class, I will do about the pinocytosis, then the receptor mediated endocytosis, which is also called as clathrin dependent endocytosis, because here in this process, in a clathrin dependent endocytosis, we use a clathrin protein, which is a type of cytoskeletal protein, looks like this. Okay. It has heavy chains as well as light chains, and this clathrin, okay, so this is the clathrin protein, normal structure of clathrin, which has a heavy chain and light chain, okay. And They plays a major role in formation of coated vesicles. Together, many clathrin proteins forms vesicles and forms a triskeleton in shape, right? Which are needed for receptor mediated endocytosis. Okay, so that's all for today's lecture.